like the sun, we're fall in the ocean. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win, 'cause we're only human. The ghost of our past is chasing, trying to stop us. The sound of our souls connected, it's nothing but wonder. So don't give up tonight, just keep living your life, afraid of being alone. Rise like the sun, we're fall in the ocean. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win, 'cause we're only human. The ghost of our past is chasing, trying to stop us. The sound of our souls connected, it's nothing but wonder. So don't give up tonight, just keep living your life, afraid of being alone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sim Racing Alliance. We are here with Season 10 and Round 1. Boogity, let's go racing. That's the green flag jobs.
Looking maybe even full wide.
They're fanning out. There's a bit of contact. He's got the outside.
Side. That's a great move.
He's got plenty of speed in there and he's being held up.
He's going to have a better run. Yeah, it's going to stick it on the outside.
Oh, that's a late move. 296 Ferrari, though, finds a space.
Oh, he didn't have it.
We're on the way for SRA.
Good evening, SRA. Welcome back to another week here. After a week off break, we're here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife for round 6 of our Division 3 championship. It's the green hell, as everyone knows it. It's a daunting track with about 1 billion corners, and it's going to test these drivers to the absolute limits here. A few new faces in the booth, or a new face in the booth with Jay May here, and Arjun, welcome back to the booth. Should be an exciting one. Are you guys looking forward to it?
Thank you. Well, I'm glad to be here. I forgot that I need to change that picture desperately. Yeah, it should be an exciting race. So I raced yesterday in the lower leagues, and it's time to see what these guys can pull out. So yeah, very excited.
Yeah, Nürburgring Nordschleife, it's a legendary track. I mean, it's going to be an absolute beauty to look at the cars go up and down the road. But yeah, I'm just looking for the specific one-on-one battles that we're going to be seeing for the 55 minutes plus the extra lap that we have in the race. So it's going to be an exciting race for sure. And we know D3, they race hard. They are super aggressive with their overtakes, and it's such a treat for the viewers.
Yeah, it's so a bit of nuance here for this track because it is so long. We'll speak to that when that happens. But we saw some great racing last night in the other divisions that raced the night prior. So these D3 drivers always putting on a show for us. Excited what they can do and how these drivers will tackle this very tricky course. If we want to, we can hop on over to the track map where it's. Oh, this is the wrong track map. Okay.
No.
I wish.
Longer Imola. Let's see if we can. Well, we'll start going through some standings real quick. If you don't mind, can you talk us through some of this, Arjun?
Yeah, sure. So, and the current leader of D3 is David Funk with 42 points, and a huge gap behind him is Simon Goriel, followed by Andre Velasquez. These guys are absolutely fast, followed by Eduardo Rodriguez, Kamal Kaisazovic, who has had a good race. I think last time I saw him was Spa. Then Nico Suave, our fastest Mustang right now, followed by I'm Byron, Chris Legane, Michael Schwartz, Neil Sutherland, Donovan Colton, Noel Maxwell, who's going to be amazing to watch today, and Carlos Guzman. And do I continue going, or?
Yeah, that's all right. So one thing to note is our silver leader there, Michael Schwartz in the Mustang, and of course David Funk in the Porsche. The current leaders, David Funk with a huge lead.
I'm massively interested to see with David Funk because he was 4 seconds off in the practice sessions. He's 4 seconds off Goriel, so it's 1 and 2. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the quali and see what happens in the race between them.
There's a clear pace differential so far in the practice server. Some key standouts, but then it's really tight for the rest of the field. Obviously, it's a big track, and outright pace doesn't mean you're shooing for the win. It's really easy to make a mistake. Some close battles here in the team championship, though. But with the Sith Lords of David Funk and Kamal Kachjovic out there by 100 points, they pretty well have this one settled up. But back for P3, P4, there's pretty much no gap in there as the first Pro-Am team, the Fossil Fuel Enthusiasts with Mark Recton and Nico Suave, putting up a close battle with the pro lineup of Ian Byron and Ponzo Rigatoni. Exciting to see how these drivers fare tonight. These drivers, speaking of, are just out on their warm-up laps. We'll start tuning in with our Silver Division, who's just coming across the line now. So they took the Joker lap, and they were able to start their lap a bit earlier, which then puts them in a better position for the 10-minute session that they have before them. They start off on the short version of the Grand Prix circuit, missing the two left-handers there that are ever so tricky on the actual track. But as they make their way through here, it's pretty much status quo. You're still getting your tires up to temperature, and I believe it starts off as a fast track at the beginning of the silver stint. So you just want to keep it mannered, keep it all between the white lines to set yourself up for a faster second lap, hopefully.
Let's see if anybody forgets to take the Joker lap as well.
That would be crushing if that were the case.
Yeah, it's great
I-
that you're allowed to take jokers. Imagine if you have to drive around the full track just to start
Oh.
one flying lap.
Yeah.
When the game was first introduced, when the track was first introduced, I had no idea the Joker lap existed. So I was one of those people.
I was
Oh.
the same way. I was like, I was on some pub lobbies and I was curious why the people were just cutting to their right. I was like, don't they know the track is to the left? But yeah, little did I know really what was actually going on. But that's a huge help for these drivers. Not so much pressure on their first lap. At least a 10-minute session able to attempt 2. But we saw even last night our best of SRA making some mistakes, and only a handful of them were able even to put a valid lap, much less a representative one. As we're seeing already, Pat Cockcroft in the Porsche here, his tires are they're a bit cold. It looks like he was squirming all the way through this first beginning sector of the Nordschleife.
This is absolutely beautiful. Just seeing the Porsche just go around the tight and twisty section of Hudson Dock.
It's right at home here with the tight corners. As he gets onto this bit of the straightaway, the infamous GTR corner almost, where they got some air. Does he lift?
Well, yeah.
He's flat out.
I don't know. That's wizardry. It's wizardry.
Crazy.
And this is a corner which we're hitting to Sweetenkreuz, which would absolutely scare me if I'm driving something like the 991. It's a flick to the left and a little bit of lift, so the car just unloads itself, and you're also going over a crest. So, and then we have a heavy braking into Arenberg. So, this track is not to be messed with. It is so tricky. You need to be super precise, especially in GT3 cars, which are probably the fastest cars that can be driven on this track competitively in real life.
Yeah, they have the perfect balance of power and downforce. You know, they used to race F1 here, obviously. That was a tricky time for those drivers, I'm sure. It claimed a few people. So these GT3 cars of today, of the modern era, really strike that balance, and they're able to at least push the cars to the limits, and with such safety in real life that they're able to at least walk away when it does go wrong. We saw some pretty gnarly incidents in the 24-hour Nürburgring race this year in real life. Hopefully these drivers don't take a cue from those books and is able to keep it clean. One thing to note, it is just a dry course, so no nighttime to deal with, no fog, no rain.
Ooh.
Porsche gets a little squirrely on the inside curbing there. He manages to keep it on the track, only just though. Has to use all of the track there. That was close.
Note that these cars in Nürburgring spec are much more forgiving over the curbs than the other tracks because they have a higher minimum ride height of, I think, around 70 millimeters, which is 20 whole millimeters higher than the normal 50.
I know that was throwing a lot of people off in the practice. Going around the normal Nürburgring track, braking in different places, taking the corners slightly differently because, of course, the cars are set up differently for the overall Nordschleife. So hopefully that doesn't show itself today, but we'll see.
Especially because the qualifying track was the Nürburgring GT3 track, which every driver has been accustomed to running and lapping with flat out. And what's worse is that if you're going to be setting up a car for the Nordschleife, you will be setting it up with lower downforce than what you would normally. So the car is going to be slippery. It's not going to have any grip. And you're just going to be struggling for grip going into the GP layout of this track.
I think as well, it's important to note, not necessarily here in practice, but there is a different set of rules in place today for this race. So the stewards are looking, if you're, especially in qualifying, holding somebody up, they're looking instead for people to jump out the way straight away, rather than traditional rules, which is to make your way out the way within a lap. So we have to keep an eye on that. So quite harsh on it yesterday. So they caught on it yesterday. So
it's very topical right now as we see Austin Merritt being sort of held by this Porsche, or by this Mustang in front of him. Had a bit of room to maybe go for the pass there. Decides to not go for it. Still behind him as they go into the carousel center. Right-hander here.
I mean, it's so narrow, isn't it? It's so difficult to even let somebody pass. There's definitely a potential for mistakes even in trying to move over.
We also see different drivers have different approaches to going over the track because this track has a number of corners that hasn't been officially defined yet. Everyone has their own approach to every corner because you just can't min-max it like you normally do for every other track. So we're gonna see a lot of difference in skill and just a lot of different approaches, and drivers just figuring out what works and what doesn't work. As you see, Josh Drush just slides it after taking that curb aggressively.
Star points.
Yeah, I think this is the section of you know what? I'm not even gonna try pronouncing that. Right now, he's in reprimand. German's tough. I'm gonna give him that.
There's a lot of consonants together there that I'm not sure how to attempt to pronounce, but he's, I think, getting onto the YouTube corner. That's how I know it.
This is called Brunshed. This is not hard to pronounce. Except for the umlaut, people forget that. So it's Brunshed.
So that being said, the clock has struck. Actually, we don't have a clock right now, but it has struck 15. So the gold drivers are now out for their first hot laps. One of the nuances here for the qualifying stints for the drivers here. Gold division can go out at 15 minutes just to give them a better shot at getting a valid lap. He's still only going to get 2 attempts. Yarin gets a bit loose there, manages to slow it down in time, but he's not gonna like that lap time for sure.
And what's interesting is that I don't think any of the drivers will be trying to do 2 consecutive laps. Just because you're gonna be driving on this 1 lap is just more than I think it's around 15 miles if I remember. If you include the out lap as well, so the tires are already going to be pretty scrubbed when you come around to finishing your first lap. So you might see drivers just go back to the pits, just reset and come back out and do another whole out lap before attempting the second run.
100%. It's definitely a choice of 2 strategies. I picked the go into the pit, come back out strategy last night. My teammate, he decided to stay out. Teammate ended up pipping me to it. So I think both ways are valid.
We're getting our first times in the board. We get Don and Colton with an 8:19. I have high hopes for Lexus. I drove the Lexus exclusively when the track came out just because he hits 290 at the bottom of the back straight.
Yeah, it's a beast. Absolute beast in the straight line.
Was our silver leader in the practice servers, sort of outshowing his pace there. He was 2nd overall in D3, showing that he and that Lexus are going well here, and already with provisional pole in the silver division, does just opt to go straight for a second lap without pitting or anything. So he was running, 2 laps of fuel there on his first lap. He does still turn. I guess he's not out of the GP circuit yet, but he probably won't take the Joker lap here. As the tires are already screaming enough. Just gonna go straight back on to.
He's in the zone.
One thing I like to bring it to the fact that Lexus, as the resident Lexus enjoyer, is that I drove this car in the MCM round in pre-season. I overtook, I think, Al Latufo twice in the back straight. I overtook him into the pits, came out behind him, overtook him again the next lap. So the Lexus is going to be super strong. It's going to be super racy. It's going to be a boat in the corners, but in the straight, it's just going to be unmatched. And if you're a second behind going into the back straight, it's over for the car ahead.
See though, he's on his next lap. He's definitely got more in the tank. So we'll see if going straight back out is the way forward.
Yeah. One advantage of actually not doing the Joker is that you get a better run across the line, which is worth around 2 seconds. But does that make up for the Tyler? I do not know.
No.
I wouldn't imagine. So it's still impressive still to see 12 valid laps so far. No matter the pace, that's still a feat in and of itself around here.
Yeah, they're dialed in. They're ready.
We're also seeing huge gaps that you usually normally do not see in any other track. Which, I guess a lap is 8 minutes. So you do expect that kind of gap, but it's kind of it doesn't sit right. Just seeing gap of
Seems strange.
5
yeah.
seconds.
I think it's one of those where, you know, if you're 0.1, 0.2 per turn behind, you know, the pace, it quickly builds on you, you know, it really does quickly build on you. Difficult to get back.
Oh, absolutely. And you also can't, like, be super aggressive as well. It's like when on some parts of the track, you just sit back and you just try to survive. And that, if you're not going fast enough, because you're just trying to survive, you're just going to fall back even more. So it's about trying to maximize your risks and rewards. This track is super punishing. The walls are super close to you for all the track. Not a lot of runoff, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of off-camber and non-camber corners. It's yeah, it's gonna be pretty brutal.
I was just watching Goriel. He was our fastest lap time in the practice servers. He was going through that super tough, high-speed section right before you get to the mini carousel and on the back stretch. You almost get a bit of air, and he did there too. Manages to keep it in track, but he was all over the place on the limit.
He's going for it.
BMW.
I love it. He's going for it.
I nicknamed that section of the track the roller coaster.
That's a good name for it, honestly. It feels like you're out of control most of the time. Speaking of, Sullivan manages to keep it in control for the time being. I hate that just as I tune in, it hops into him having a battle with the tire wall there. That's going to be a tough outcome for what would be his first hot lap. He'll teleport to pits. He'll have one more shot with only 5 minutes left to go.
It's one of those, you know, you pan the camera on them, it's trouble.
Yeah, we have a history of commentators curse. Let's not do that again.
Right.
As you see Rivera's side of Bentley, great that they're still braving the Bentley crew.
Curtis Lee out here showing that it doesn't matter that what BOP we're running, or you know what car you're running. The BOP that we're running here in SRA will make any car competitive. He's throwing that big boat around here.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. It sounds great as well.
I assume the benefit of, you know, a car like the Bentley is just its ability to take some of the apexes a bit more aggressively than, say, you can in the 296. So I guess it balances itself out around a track.
I think it would. Just catching up on our times, Goriel sets 8:15.8 and looks like he's just gonna. Maybe he still has time, 4 minutes left to go out and set a hot lap, just adjusting some things maybe, but that's a blistering time. He's got a 4-second lead above the other drivers there. Colton in the silver division is right behind him though, and he's on his second fast lap. Sounds so good around here.
It does. Where at the moment is Funk? What's he doing? Is he still out on track at the moment?
So that's a good point. Funk, who is our current points leader, was in the pits for a long time. He's just going GP circuit now, so maybe waiting for optimum track conditions or some bit of strategy being played out. But he's just on now his hot lap. We'll have to watch see how his lap develops. Takes it pretty mild through the Schumacher S's there. It's smart early on in the lap. You don't want to invalidate that early. But if you do, you have that Joker lap you can take and start a new one.
Well, I don't think any of the drivers are on the limit. I think some of the drivers still have, they're still holding back. So we might see them gain like a whole second in one part of the track and just lose a whole second on the other just because you're taking it too safe.
Well, that is the strategy around here. It's all about driving within your limits, and you know some other tracks like we were at Donington 2 weeks prior. There's only a handful of corners comparably, and it's easy to find that limit and kind of drive at that limit, even throughout a whole 1 hour stint. Around here, you're not at 10 tenths. Not if you want to stay within the track. There's so many variables around here that you can make one mistake and that'll send you into the wall and ruin your race. You're driving, you know, almost at 8 tenths just to make sure you can survive.
100%. So also as you get further around the lap, you know, you get 6 minutes in, 7 minutes in, and you're just like, oh, please, please, please do not invalidate this far on.
Right. Going back on with Colton here. He's 2 seconds up currently. He's just about to complete his lap. He's at the very end of it now. Just got off the back stretch. Going to the final corner, gets a little bit loose. Tracks left on the front stretch, and he comes across the line. He'll improve.
Nice improvement.
Still good enough for P2.
You see, if I was in the Lexus, I'd probably sandbag a bit so I can have a bit more fun. But you know what? He has the advantage. He's gonna solidify it. Honestly, in the league, that's probably the best thing you should be doing.
Well, I think that lap time that he's just done there pretty much puts him on par with his practice times. So he's done well. It's, you know, he's given a good account of himself from them.
It's as good as time as any is to set your personal best or near abouts, especially around here, and when it all matters most for qualifying. That's always what you like to see. And these drivers put in a ton of practice, especially with having our week off. Even more practice than some other weeks. You like to see when it all comes to fruition, when it matters most. This Mustang is being hustled around the track here, flirting with track limits there. I think he just about well kept it in between the lines, but it sounds real good. He's got a ton of power. He's about to go on the back stretch where it's going to matter most. Around these tight corners, though, it's he'll do well just to keep it underneath him.
Oh, he took air. That was a lot of air he took there.
You could hear the revs pick up there too, showing that Mustang's got all kinds of power, enough to almost take flight.
As he just gets loose there as well. He's absolutely sending it on his final lap.
He's currently up by 3 seconds, which would be near about close enough to take provisional pole from the Silver Division. One more complex corners to go through the mini carousel onto the back stretch. Then he'll be able to let the power flow. Just gonna pull up Rodriguez. He just crossed the line and he goes P3. That's a solid result for the Ferrari.
But all eyes on Michael Schwartz. Will he be able to take front row away from Donovan Colton?
Curious to see the speeds we're expecting here. Hop on board, maybe we can just about see what I'm seeing 280.
280, yep. See 281 at the bridge. He's at the crest. It's about a car rocket.
Just a bit of left-hand turn that keeps the pedal flat. He's still flat. Finally brakes. Gets all the curb on the left, close to that wall. All the curb on the right. Spots his apex perfectly and his braking marker perfectly after that long straightaway, and he comes across the line. Where does it put him?
With the B3.
3/10 after almost 8 and a bit minutes to come just 3/10 behind the provisional pole there with Colton. That's an unbelievable result.
Yeah, it is super close between the top three at least. Just barely more than a second and a half separating first and third. Have you seen laps from those who had not set a lap yet? Have you seen Jack Sullivan set a lap yet? Or
So crucially, there's a few drivers that have either set invalid laps on the first one or just now on their first hot lap, and people like Sullivan, Laz, Funk, Velasquez down here, and Rigatoni towards the bottom, who are still on valid laps right now, have an opportunity to improve on their invalid laps from before. There's only a handful of drivers left on track. His time has expired. Long wait time, though. That'll give these drivers plenty of time to set their qualifying time. That Funk, that Porsche driven by Funk there, almost gets a bit of air in the rear as he hops over the curbs.
yeah, these guys are the championship contenders as well. This qualifying is going to mean a lot to them, especially someone like David Funk, who cannot abuse the straight lines like how the Mustangs or Lexus would do, and he has to rely more on just his outright pace in the corners to stay ahead. he's gonna need a good qualifying lap, just in this championship battle. And same with Panzer Riccatoni as well, and Velasquez, who's P3, if I can remember the championship.
That's right. Yeah, Velasquez P3 there in the McLaren. So crucial for him to get a solid result. Otherwise, he'd be stuck in the back trying to pass. Actually, Velasquez, you're right. Just crossed the line. He went P5. It's a solid result from him. Someone else I'm keeping an eye on is Kamal. I think he actually might be on a invalid lap, but we'll see where he's out.
Might be a bug for the ACC at least.
Oh.
If he's still on a flying lap, he probably is on a flyer. Even if it shows blue.
We just saw Sutherland go across the line. He completed his lap with a valid 8:20. That'll put him into P6. So these gold drivers are going to be a bit mired back in traffic of the silver division, who honestly are kind of outshowing our gold drivers here tonight. There's a lot more drivers in the silver division than there are in the gold. Can't blame them though. At least the ones that did show up tonight. It's a testament that props to them, I guess, for at least showing up better than I did. That's for sure.
Well, it kind of helps that the fastest gold drivers got moved up to D2.
Right, we've seen pretty much every winner, except for Fuck, who was our first week winner, was then moved up to D2. Some serious pace out of them, puts them into the higher division, which is obviously it's a good thing. It keeps the racing more competitive. And I consider it an honor to get moved up if it does happen. Unfortunately, it happens mid-season because it does kind of put you out of the running for a championship. But
ooh, as his cars gets loose as he gets over the crest at Klein Carousel.
Yeah, he was just got a bit of wheel spin. It's not bad. He'll get onto the back stretch and try to let every bit of horsepower that Porsche has ring in its neck. Check back in with Sullivan, actually. Oh, he just crossed the line, so that'll move him up to P5. Just about 4 seconds back, we saw him go into the wall and able to salvage a really good lap time, P5 overall in this competitive field. It's not bad at all. Funk, who's just ahead of the Porsche we were on earlier, is just getting out of the back stretch. He had a little bit of a lift as he gets into the braking zone there. He does get it slowed down in time. That was well done. See where this puts him. Our current championship leader comes across the line. His time is good enough for P4. It's a really solid lap from Funk, and we'll be able to defend his championship lead at least pretty well from there, I would imagine.
No, Maxwell also. Is he the last one on that lap? Actually,
Yep,
Kamal Castazelli just pitted.
He's our last one, so getting a bit of screen time here as he comes on the back stretch. It's right on board with him as we get to this last sector. He is still flat out. There's a braking marker. It's a bit of air on the curb on the inside. It does sort of go wide, but still manages to keep it valid. He'll come across the line. See if it's any improvement. Nah, it wasn't. It's still P11, so that's a good result from him, though. He'll have some work to do to catch back up or to try to make some way up the field during the race. But out of 30 drivers, that's a pretty good qualifying session, I'd say.
Yeah, Donald Colton and Schwartz, Michael Schwartz in P3, 2, and 3. They are a good chunk ahead of the third place silver driver, who's red in P10. So they have the advantage, and they're probably. I wonder if they're gonna try going safe.
So what is the strategy like around here? Is it so we have our mandatory pit stop, right? Which would pretty much mean it's a cookie cutter, strategy, pit at the halfway mark. But with the track this long, you only have a few opportunities even to enter the pit. I think we'll see a lot of drivers coming in right around that 36-minute mark or so whenever they're on that first lap right around that 30-minute mark. I don't believe the undercut was very strong. Did you experience anything, Jay, last night, whether the undercut or overcut was more favorable? Oh, I think we lost Jay. That's okay. I didn't see one way or another in the race.
I'm
watching.
back.
Okay, cool.
I hold my hands up. That was on my end. I was muted. My bad.
No
my
worries,
bad.
no worries.
You guys have missed all the insightful comments that I've been making. No, so I think the really exciting thing that we have is, the track is so compact. That qualifying, when you put it into Nordschleife terms, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, anything can happen. As for the undercut, I don't think it was necessarily strong. I think it all just keep it clean. That's all you got to focus on right now, is keeping it clean, especially lap 1. Keep it clean
for sure.
And I think that any of these guys, as all the way through, they're so close in pace that it just emphasizes even more the need to keep that clean. But yeah, I think I pitted midway through the race before, but there was a lot of action, so who knows?
Yeah, that's right. This race will develop, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see who exactly can make the strategy work tonight.
Oh yeah, I think the important thing is you've got to make your overtakes count on the Nürburgring, on the GP circuit. There's such little space on the actual ring itself, on the Nordschleife itself. You've got to make it count when you can on the GP circuit for sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the purpose-built racetrack around here. The Nordschleife is pretty much just normal roads, or at least at one point it was. Now it's been turned into.
Yep.
I think it is still the only one-way toll road in Germany. So that does point to the fact that it is just a toll road, though. During a normal tourist day, you'll see all kinds of cars. People maybe just commuting to their, on their way home from work, decides to stop and run the track, in their daily driver or their motorcycle or something. And now we're seeing 30 of the finest GT3 cars run it here tonight.
I think as well, when this track was put together, you've got to remember the size of cars in the last 40, 50 plus years, and these cars are massive now. The track hasn't gotten any bigger, hasn't gotten any wider, so it just adds to that complexity and what our guys have to deal with.
Yeah, that's a fair point, right? They've done some resurfacing and redoing of the corners over the years, but it has managed to keep the same character of the track, which is what you want to see.
Absolutely.
These drivers are now all lined up 2 by 2 all the way down the field. David Funk all at the back of Colton there on the front row. They'll come across the stripe to start their 1 hour stint at the Nordschleife here. David Funk already poking his nose out into the middle.
Ready going, is he going to make a move or is he going to keep it safe?
He dives, laid on the brakes of the Porsche.
3 wide.
Gets out of there, which is a smart move.
Yeah, a little bit of contact in front in the front two.
There's 3 wide all the way through turn 2. That's insane.
Some of these guys are trying to win it.
Just catching up to see where all these are. It looks like we're all still pointed the right direction, which is huge.
We'll be doing better than yesterday.
Donald Colton takes the lead.
Yeah, Glory is now second place behind Colton, so he's done well here at the beginning to grab that pole position, or grab the whole shot essentially. And he's going to try to run away with this one. Silver Division drivers showing him how it's done.
Well, in a track where it's difficult to overtake, especially how narrow it is, you need to just use a straight line, and you just can't do that. So Donald Colton, he controls the pace right now.
Really?
And
I think it's important. It's important as well for our spectators, that the scoreboard, the leaderboard will update. It's just the size of the track. It takes a little while, at the end of the first split, for it to really kick in.
Scroll down here and see if we see any battles brewing. No one going for any late dives into the chicane. One of the better passing opportunities. seeing all kinds of close racing.
I think take it calm that first GP part of the circuit at least. You know, get your tires underneath you. Oh,
Probably taking advantage of that Ferrari. I think that was Aaron going wide, and so they'll grab that position. That's a well done move. Going on to the Nordschleife.
I'm not going to miss that ever in the crowd.
Seems like all the drivers have gotten into the North Loop without any major incidents. Don't want to jinx it yet.
Yeah, the track's big. The track map's pretty big, but I'm still seeing a pretty solid line of drivers.
Yeah.
So that's what I like to see. No one straight to pits. No one off the mark by a ton. It looks like we did see a few people drop out already, actually. So down to 27 drivers, unfortunately. Maybe getting some early contact. That it's hard to see everything around here. Picking up some damage. See a bit of grass pop up. See 2 wide. That's impressive.
But one of the Mustangs goes slow out of Friedenkreuz.
Ooh, got the brakes. Yeah,
I think that's the Mustang of Byron.
Of course, you get the out of the curves.
Ooh,
Well held at least.
very well held. It's like Goriel's not then done as when Colton get away with it though. Still only 0.3 behind him.
We're still on the bumper of Colton. And this is where the Lexus starts to struggle a bit because it's just a bunch of turns, which, turns just slow down the Lexus.
Absolutely.
I see Incident in Anna Frost behind.
Can't quite catch them on the road. I think that was Levine actually. He's now teleporting back to pits.
Yeah, it looks like somebody's struggling in the back there, 93.
Replay of that maybe? Oh no, I missed it. All right, cool. We'll go back to live action then. It happens.
Yeah.
Oh, the HUD's disappeared.
Try
There you go.
to figure out these broadcaster tools. Unfortunately, Steph's not here, so we have to fill in. We'll do our best around this difficult track, though.
Oh, doing fine. Can we check out number 93, see if there was any damage on that car, see if there was any significant impact or not? Or it looks like there's another yellow flag.
We are seeing kind of a car park, or specifically 2 separate packs in the middle.
Yeah, this almighty train coming up behind Giesner in the Porsche, or Giesner in the Mustang.
Hey, Multimatic car. Same thing. Kinda.
Well, let's see. You know, you've got all these cars queuing up behind you. The pressure's on. You know, you've got to just try and ignore it. Stick to what you're doing. Keep on the track.
Is it me or did Justin McKechnie's McKechnie? That's how I pronounce it.
Right.
Sorry, no sorry. Did he have a really good start coming back from the back of what it was basically the last road to P22?
Yeah, he's up 9 positions, so somehow finding a way to make some moves. Speaking of, Pat Cockcroft finding the outside of the Mustang.
Oh, McKechnie! He's on the grass.
Will go wide on the grass. We just caught that as he manages to keep it underneath him. Mustang putting up a big defense. It's a big car as it is. There's not a ton of room to get around him, as we saw there, but it's well done to keep it all still pointed forward. And I'll take the carousel.
That was brave from McKechnie. He just saw the gap and was like, you know what? I'm gonna stick my car in the gap. I don't care what happens next.
I love it.
It was bold, but also you have to realize that just overtaking is difficult. You gotta take whatever opportunity you have if you want to make races. And a good way of doing that is just putting the pressure, as we seeing Neil Sutherland put pressure on Rodriguez.
Just about finding their way around the track. There are a few different lines. Oh, is that Funk? That is
Funk. It's Funk.
He's even got a bit of front end damage.
I noticed he dropped back quite a lot, so
That's going to be huge for the championship. As you see,
Yeah.
all types of chaos going on ahead of him too. It's two Porsches side by side.
Ooh, 769 crashed in Ripperman. That's one corner name I can't pronounce. But
Looks like
wonder what
he's
happened.
going
Oh,
back
it's
forward
Guzman.
now. Yeah, he was holding up that train. Justin just got a bit impatient, went for a move that wasn't quite there maybe, or compromised entry, and that'll leave Guzman
oh
down the
no.
position. Speaking
Three.
of Riggs, might be able to catch this one. Oh, he just gets loose with
Oh,
Porsche.
he's lost it.
Doing Porsche
Yeah.
things. Rayer
Porsche
gets
doing
up from
Porsche things.
underneath him. Yeah, that'll happen.
Well, thankfully, these
difficult
guys
to cover
crashing towards the end of the track, they have the ability to crawl back into the pits.
Right. If you're gonna have an issue, at least have it in the last sector. Sector being a relative term, of course, because there's so many. But the BMWs down the backstretch has all kinds of powers. Even picking up a draft from the Porsche, he should be able to get this move done. He's got the power over speed on the Ferrari.
Yeah. Got to be on the inside as well going into the final corner, so it's not fair.
3 has crashed behind him. And I believe that is.
Oh, that was, I just missed it. Yeah, Robbie Toddy looks like he will leave the race, so picked up some damage. Sutherland with the overspeed on the Porsche now will go on the outside. The exit of the backstretch will get that move done too. So he'll get two positions in one straight. That was huge.
That is just definitely the best way, the safest way to overtake.
It's one of the main passing opportunities around here, especially if you have the power over speed. Cranston here in the McLaren doesn't quite have that advantage over the Mustang in front of him.
He's trying. He's trying.
Yeah, we'll just keep it behind him.
Yeah, the BMW also being one of the faster cars in the straight. So is the Mustang.
That is red, and the Porsche getting backed by Sutherland on the turn 1. So gain 2 positions, and then just as quickly lose another. But it's still net positive. We'll take that. We're seeing a few hitters coming in. That's Martin Riggs and Gush in the Porsche both coming in. Probably to fix some damage. We saw Riggs in the wall earlier on. So, and Byron's also in the pits.
And I think taking
Funk is also in the pits to repair the damage that they have received.
And I don't think that necessarily writes you off either, on a track like this. I don't think taking a bit of damage on the first lap, pitting, getting the pit out of the way, if you can manage your tyres around it, which in itself is a tall task, I don't think it writes you off completely.
Yeah, I think you're right. If you're going to have a problem, at least have it early so you have some time to recover.
David Funk stayed out. He stayed out.
Yes.
He's just getting eaten up by Justin Moffat here.
Yeah, we know he's got pace. That's fun, but Mustang able just to drive right by him.
He's struggling right now for speed.
Certainly that front end damage is not helping him around this GP circuit. Pretty, downforce dependent sector of the Nordschleife, but at least now he's making the left onto the old track, and that will at least give him a bit of an advantage in defending from the almighty train behind him.
Yeah, but we have a couple of straightaways coming right after Hotzenbach. But
I'm trying to think. Is he trying to maybe manage damage limitation at this point in terms of the championship? Is he just trying to stay in it? I don't know if it's the right call, but
well, he does have a lead of 100 points, so he is comfortably in the lead. But then again, the lead can tumble with one wrong move.
Exactly. So Goriel, who's the second place in the standings for the driver championship, he's having race live here in P2, and still not all that far behind Colton. So, if you're gonna have a mistake, you want to mitigate your losses by hopefully not having your opponent do better. But let's hope for that's not the case. Goriel actually is now within 0.5 seconds of Colton, so able to pick up a second just in the first.
I think he must have made him.
Colton. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to chuck that up to the Lexus struggling in the GP circuit. But yeah, David Funk has been passed by Maxwell, and he is getting He did nearly get overtaken by Andrew going into Orenburg.
He's just
You've got to pit. You've got to take this
hemorrhaging
out there.
positions now out there.
Yeah.
It's got to be tough. Andrew all over the back of the Porsche, taking all sorts
Yeah.
of different lines to try to find any gap whatsoever, but there's nothing doing around this track.
Yeah, I think he's just getting frustrated because I know, like, he knows that he's losing so much time behind him. He just wants to get past, but he just doesn't have the gap to get past him.
No.
Yeah, this was a big train at one point, and now that the two drivers of Moffitt and Maxwell sort of been released by Funk, they're just driving away from Andrew and Lee, who were at one point all within a second.
Stop and go.
Oh, that's Gush. So he came into the pits.
Yeah.
I think that means he was probably coming a little bit in too fast, and a penalty around here that'll hurt. Luckily, pit lane's not too long. It's not spa or anything, but a stop into a 30. Currently the leader of our pitters, but this early on that doesn't mean it too much. That's gonna hurt his finish for sure.
Then again, in this track, doesn't matter if you finish high or low. It just matters on finishing because a lot of drivers are going to crash out. Everyone's going to make a mistake, or even if it costs you a race or not. Just finishing the race is going to net you so much more points than just leaving after crashing.
Yeah, no doubt. Still 30. It says still 30 drivers are on the race. No, okay, never mind. There's some gaps there. We definitely have lost a few. 2 people.
I think.
It looks like.
Hats off though, there are what four cars that I see that have taken it on the chin. They've had that first mistake, whatever it may be. They're back out. They keep going with it, just like Arjun was saying.
Yeah, especially some drivers, they're gonna, even if they did hit for damage, they're gonna have a good buffer, as we've seen Funk after an incident backing up the car. So Andrew just finally get past him. Only took him half a lap.
Around the outside's not a bad move at all.
Oh no! Not into the braking zone.
Speed into, one of them plots to fall or something. And he's going to get on track there. We'll head into the carousel now. He's got a bit of a gap. No moves to be done here.
I mean, if you're Lee at the moment, you've seen Maxwell, you've seen the Ferrari make the move, and now he's driving away from you. The patience is going to run thin.
Yeah. So tantalizing close. We saw Lee was even going for Blue and Andrew at one point. So seeing him drive away now, there's almost a second gap between those two drivers.
Painful.
Now, Lee knows that if he could just stick right behind Funk, he'd be able to get past him, and when you get into the straight, but the straight's so far away.
Yeah.
So you risk it in such a dangerous, probably the most dangerous part of the track, you overtake with how many corners there are, or you just stick it out to the straight but lose so much time to the car ahead.
It's a difficult part of this. This is the twistiest part of the track, and obviously being in the Bentley. Now he's got the Ferrari behind him to worry about. It's an interesting obstacle that Funk's presented.
Wait, Justin McKechnie in P15, he has climbed up to half the grid right now.
Yeah.
That's impressive around here.
It is.
Showing that just keeping the car on the track and finding opportunities when you can is enough to make some moves. He's now caught up to the back of this Curtis Lee, David Funk battle. And he's not stopping for anyone, I don't think. He even gets a bit of air over that bump. That was dicey stuff. Within a tenth of a second ahead of the car in front of you, getting air.
Oh, Lee's trying to force it. He's trying.
He goes offensive on Funk, will make him compromise, and now has to go defensive to block off Justin. No space to make a move around there, going for the mini carousel.
He's got it now. Just keep it clean. You got that straight.
Tune back into the straight. We see Goriel's right up the back at Colton. BMW's got speed, but Lexus with that custom BOP.
Oh yeah.
Showing it's got the top end as well.
I don't think Lexus has any BOP. I think it actually gets more weight.
Oh, is,
for
around,
this track.
Is that right? Oh, okay.
I think it
showing
does,
that the
but
V8's still powerful enough to fend off the BMW. It's usually pretty quick on the top speed.
Yeah, when the strat came out, the Lexus was the fastest car. The Kunos immediately nerfed it to the ground.
Oh, points out of the way, and that's a dead
Makes a
heat.
lot of sense. Yeah, off the straightaway, easiest way to get a position here, and McKechnie will get 2 spots in 1 straightaway.
Yeah.
Lexus has no pop, just to confirm.
Okay, yeah, that helps.
I'm surprised.
The BMW though has
T96
plus
is-
15.
Plus 15. Yeah, that T96 in the Bentley on the straight is impressive.
Some winners being done on the straight. 2 Ferraris going at it here for P20. It's Yard in the pits. Which means he's falling down the order. Curtis.
Down 5 on the inside.
Bit of contact as they go through first 2-corner complex. That all of a sudden Curtis out wide.
He wants that place back.
Yeah, it looks like McKechnie just, oh, never mind. He has not solidified the position. Curtis is still looking up his inside.
It's not done yet.
It's not done yet. But, yeah, Justin McKechnie is 5th in class right now after a blistering opening, well, first 2 laps.
Oh,
What a
big
dive
dive
from Lee. They'll do a little crossover as McKechnie will grab that position back again.
And the up and under. I think, yeah, Funk's in the pit as well. He's finally admitted it. He needs to pit.
He's called it quits. He's lost all sorts of time. He was up there fighting for the lead, and now right down the order, just with that damage and that one mistake. That's all it takes around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why he even stayed out for an extra lap because when you do get damage, it's just gonna compound because of how long the track is. Like, you may
I was going to
lose
say,
like a
he needs to
second
have
or
been fighting. He needs to have been fighting, and just let Schwartz catch right back up to him.
Might end up having a 3-way battle here for P1.
Oh, Colton's not gonna make it easy for Goriel.
Certainly not.
Just go on board Goriel once he hit the straight here. The Lexus is gonna get away even with the slipstream. Like, yeah, sure, you're behind him in the corners. Now what? He's just gonna run away the straight. This is actually yeah, this is the dilemma of every Porsche driver now. Everyone gets to face him when going up against Lexus.
You know, I think Colton's got to channel his inner Alonso, I think, and get those elbows out real wide, especially when it gets to the twisty bits. He's going to make all use of the track, I think.
He's super smooth on the wheel, though.
What's more disgusting with the Lexus is that in some cars, some corners are a lift. For the Lexus, you have to dab on the brakes.
This doesn't have it where when it gets a little twisty, but as soon as it sees a straightaway, which this first couple of sectors, that's pretty much all it's about. It just pulls away.
Russell Allen has crashed in, I think, Hotzenbach, actually.
Like he has too much damage. See if we can't catch that real quick. See what happened. Just gets loose on the curbs. That's tough.
So he kept it out of the wall there.
Exactly.
Almost
lost a couple of seconds, but
oh, that was the big mistake.
Never mind.
we thought he was all good to go. That's where it was, but still keeps it on the wall, which is props to him.
Yeah, that's all you need to do.
Now we have a three-way fight brewing for the lead. Remember, this is so in the battle for the overall lead. We have 2 silver drivers fighting.
Yeah, right.
That's just North for you.
It is. It's a great equalizer.
Outright pace doesn't mean anything on this track. It's just about how brave you're willing to be.
These drivers, 3 drivers from the lead are all within a second. Unbelievable scenes out here.
And again, you know, they're going to be fighting. So Sullivan, Velasquez, it's not over for them. They can catch that up.
Not where I'd want to be. Goriel's position here is sandwiched between 2 cars that are honestly have the top end on you going down these sectors, and they're within 3/10 of the driver in front. Now even closer as he's right up the back of Colton. How do you even spot your corner, like your reference points around here? There's no way. That Lexus is far too big. And then know that if there is any mistake, the Mustang's going to be right there to take that position. As you see, Mustang's peeking a little
He
bit
is.
on the inside.
He's taking a look. Trying to force
Yeah.
something.
And the corner that's coming up, mid curve, you might actually see Colton actually dab on the brakes.
Champion's corner.
He does well just to keep it on track, Colton. He's all over
Yeah.
the curves.
Yeah, Colton knows all he needs to do is just not make any mistakes, and he should be able to stay ahead of Goriel. Hitting might be another thing. Goriel might be trying to get a jump on him in the pits.
Yeah, we're already halfway through this race, so it's definitely within the pit window.
Oh, I think something's happened. Velasquez has overtaken Sullivan.
I think we're.
And Sullivan's now 5 seconds back.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's got a train behind him now.
Yeah, I think we are predicting around 7 laps. Is that what you guys had yesterday?
Yeah, 7 laps. 7 laps. He's already got some damage though. Is that before? Or we brought the end of it?
The bulk of that
Yeah.
incident. So
Must have been something though.
he's struggling out there now with that front end damage.
But then again, you know, even with whatever's happened, you see Velasquez is. It was a 4.5 second gap, but it's down to 3.8.
So Velasquez having their share of issues too. That is all at the back of Sullivan though, my goodness.
Yeah.
For any gap whatsoever. Come for YouTube corner, that's not usually a spot to make a move. He peeks on the inside. Side's better on it. He's all over the curb. The next has the better run, but nowhere to go with it.
I think Sullivan is praying for that straight to come sooner rather than later. Because, you know, trying to corral a Ford Mustang around the circuit is difficult enough without the damage. So.
Yeah, the Mustang still is much better downforce. It has much better corner grip than well, some of the cars that we have here with Lexus and Bentley. But it is a brick through the corners, especially with the iconic amount of understeer it has.
Justin got through Curtis Lee on the last lap, and now is already on the back of Andrew. He's trying to find any amount of space. This guy's got pace.
He's turned up today.
Did he have a quality ban? I think he had a quality ban.
That might explain it actually then.
Yeah. But I remember number 35 being mentioned in the driver's briefing. I didn't know which split it was. So I don't know if it's something the Booster D2 or something like that. Well, actually, no, one of them is D3. Okay, never mind. I got them confused already.
But again, Sutherland's got damage as well in the Beamer, it looks like. He's got through.
Sullivan, yeah, finally getting disposed of by the Porsche, and there's another one right behind him looking to do the same. Justin all over the place, making moves down the straightaway. Looks like that was Sutherland, who just has a bit of front end damage, doesn't have quite the top end as these other drivers. Justin's going to go on the outside, I think the straightaway. Surely there's not a move there. No, he's all over the place.
Close that door. Gave him the big don't argue around there.
That was unbelievable scenes as Andrew putting up a huge difference in the straightaway. I think Sutherland wasn't quite what Justin needed to make that move done. He probably had it done dead to rights anyways, but 29 minutes to go now. We're going to see a lot of these pitters. Justin, free space is going to go on for it.
Really, Tony's had an accident in the final sector. He's gone straight to the pits.
Oh, I hate to see it from Kenzo there.
Yeah, apparently this is his first time driving on this track, so props to him for sticking out this long.
No way.
I would have crashed immediately in the first corner if this was my first time here.
No joke.
He's already faster than me, so.
Don't worry. It's only uphill, unless you're D1 or D2, then it's downhill. But yeah.
There's a bit of a tussle in the
pits. They're inside of each other. That's not going to go well.
He's crossed the line, is he? Oh, he's corrected it.
Not exactly the pit exit
no
guidance we've gotten this week, so
that'll be a warning.
Either way, we'll get the position through the pit lane, so either a bit more advantageous on pit entry or just finds the box a bit better. We'll put him up a position on Colton. I do believe that would be traditionally a penalty coming his way, though, by invalidating or by just blatantly ignoring pit exit guidance. So we'll see how that happens there. Some more drivers are exiting there. Current leader is Velasquez, who's just out with a clean air now, hoping to set a couple fast laps. Unfortunately, Justin, who we saw, was right behind Andrew in the last lap. Does not get the benefit of Andrew pitting, so he's still behind him. He'll have another lap to try to get this move done.
I wonder if it looks like Goriel's move is more reactionary to the fact that there's actually a car on the inside.
Well,
that might be taken into consideration. And also, if he does get a penalty, it'd probably be something like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And if Goriel, he's able to make that pace because he has to pace over Colton. That penalty is just not gonna matter.
That would be his goal now that he's been released from Colton, right? So
Colton.
Seeing a bit more stop goes actually coming out. That's Laz picking up one on his pit entry.
I have to say the pit entry is the big issue, the big topic going into this circuit. I mean, you know, for such a long circuit, that pit entry, there's not a lot of time to brake.
Colton's just struggling for grip right now. Like, Goriel's already opened up the gap to him.
Yeah, Goriel's got a second and a half now. And we saw obviously they were inside of each other on pit exit. So in just the first Grand Prix sector and then the sort of first sector of Nordschleife able to open up that gap that much. It's exactly what he wants to do. I'll let the stewards be the one to decide exactly what sort of ramifications come from that suspect pit exit.
I think, you've just gone to these guys in a close battle right now. All counts. They haven't pitted, but still for position.
Jovic looking to find a space around red. These Porsches are pretty even around here.
Jovic runs super aggressively over that curb.
Different line for sure. Porsche doesn't like the curbs all that much, so will not want to do that too many times.
Like, he barely did anything to it.
Oh, he went back a little bit. I mean, I don't know if that's...
Big slide from Justin.
Style points for Justin.
I mean, looking good out there, but those tires are begging for mercy. They've already done 20 or 35 minutes and
aggressive,
just constantly in dirty air.
Thankfully, Nordschleife isn't a track heavy on tire wear.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
maybe experience
under normal circumstances, but if you're drifting every quarter like Justin is here, this tires will be begging for replacements.
But he's drifting, but he's not losing time. He's still on him.
Andrew's still right in front of him. Justin even goes a bit wide. He's all over the place, trying to find any gap whatsoever around him. I bet he wishes he came into the pits now. Hindsight 2020, of course, but imagine he could have been cleared free of Andrew at this point. On to battle the persons ahead. I think that was Moffat who was ahead of him at the time.
I think 93's had a spin. He's struggling against going on to Nordschleife.
Oh,
that's
sure.
Byron.
Byron, he was one of our super fast guys earlier. Just trying to find a gap to get back on track. That is tough. Staying there. We've seen it before, though. It just gets loose on the curbs, so...
And that's what we're saying. Anything can happen around here, you know? Just, you got to stay in it.
He'll come back on the track. He was already a bit further down the grid anyways, so looks like he will lose a few positions with that spin. Justin, still drifting.
Listen to those tires. They're begging for a pit.
I love it, though.
I think these are more begging, just stopping torture, just to be taken off the car.
And within one corner, he picks up...
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew, I think, is just finally releasing Justin, seeing the all manners of chaos that's happening behind him. He's probably also struggling for grip, though. His tires are pretty worn.
He's
And
just
the
scared.
McLaren, you know, if you're not in that, if you're not getting the grip in the McLaren, it can be a difficult car to handle.
Yeah, for sure. Curtis Lee's our next closest battle. He's all at the back of Moffitt there, the Mustang. These two have already got their pits done, so they're on fresh tires and coming out the pits right behind each other. Curtis Lee, we saw him battling earlier with Justin. So I'd be curious to see where Justin comes out of the pits relative to these drivers.
Ooh. He just goes into the Moffitt goes into the wall.
Just a tap, and I think actually gained some time on Curtis Lee behind him.
Huh,
Maybe that's
interesting
a
strategy.
all right strategy, yeah.
Well, not the Mustang, but I rolled the Camaro in that corner by
No
hitting the
way.
wall. I also rolled the Camaro going over this corner here.
I think the carousel, you know,
Yeah.
the carousels, there's a lot of time to be made. I think some drivers not too sure around it, other drivers sending it through, you know, just like we saw with Justin.
Yeah, this seems to be one of Justin's favorite spots to close the gap a little bit. And already after he's been released, he's now got a 2.5 second gap to Andrew behind. So
I don't know. If you're drifting in the while chasing a car, I wouldn't really necessarily call it his favorite part of the track. I'd say every part of the track is favorite if you are confident drifting the car.
just having a good time. That 296 is not easy to keep on slip angle, so he's doing well just to keep that car underneath him and pointing forward with the big power slides. Porsches. Unfortunately, there's no overspeed happening here with the Porsches. It's a very equal match going down the backstretch. Curtis Lee, though, gets a bit of air. They both do.
Ooh.
Can't quite get it rode down in time for the corner, but does well to keep it on track. Sullivan behind.
Sullivan again. Oh,
He's having all sorts of meetings with the wall tonight.
he's getting to know them.
Still P13 though, so he's done well, at least to keep
I
the
think
car
he gets away with that.
going. See some of our front runners now finally coming in to get their service done. Andrew's closed right up on the back of Justin there, so these top front four and probably now the rest of the pitters finally get some new tires, no fuel, but we will reset this last 20 minutes here.
See a few gaps opening up now. You know, some drivers turning into hot lap mode, other drivers fighting for their lives, like we see in front of us.
Bailey doesn't quite have the overspeed I was expecting, maybe running a bit higher of a downforce. You can see he's maxed out there on the rev counter, not able to do anything behind the Mustang in the draft.
The gap between Goriel and Colton has opened up to 3.8 seconds.
Oh,
in one
someone's
lap.
going to ask a question. Oh.
They both got loose.
Mustang seems to definitely have the straight line speed, though, doesn't it?
That was chaotic. Yeah, picked up all the time he lost from the prior sector and just pulled up right to the back of Curtis there. So this was the battle that Justin was around. Justin's coming out of the pits. Oh wait, is he? I think actually Andrew might have passed him. Yeah, there's Justin behind there. So Justin losing all sorts of time in the pits.
Yeah.
We'll let Andrew by, and then 3 more drivers. So he'll have it all to do to make those positions back up.
He's done it once. No reason why I can't do it again.
If anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be him tonight. He's on a tear. A bit of a setback, but I don't imagine that's gonna put him back too much. Car 40 has a bit of an incident.
Oh, yeah.
He's in Marvin.
Let's see what happened. Oh, he's already backwards. He's just trying to find a way back forwards, and yeah, it's in a bad spot.
3-point turn.
Ferrari's not known for the turning radius, but it is out of the racing line, which is good. Good livery. I wonder who made that one.
Yeah, I wonder too.
Oh.
Seeing some side by side, that's Andrew trying to find a way around Sullivan, and Maxwell behind's actually getting around Justin. So,
But have we missed something with this, though? Because Goriel and Colton are both now 7th and 8th.
I think that's just a split time we have.
As the drivers
right,
come
I was gonna
across
say.
the next sector line, they'll refresh. Goriel is still P1.
So get caught out by the one thing that I was warning about at the beginning of the volley.
That's right. Oh my gosh, Colton's all over the place. He's having all manners of oversteer and understeer mid-corner. There's a bit of oversteer, bit of understeer trying to get it pointed back towards the apex. My goodness, and that's what's allowed Goriel to open that 5-second gap now to Colton. So if there is a penalty coming his way, I think he's in a favorable position now to keep the position regardless.
That's just one lap.
Yeah.
That's just one lap. I think we have 3 more laps to go, or 4 more laps.
It is a long lap, but to open up 5 seconds on your opponent right behind you is impressive. I mean, they found pace. Tell you what though, Colton's still P2, Silver Division. Not letting that stop him. He's the leader there in that class. Put on a clinic. Short's right behind him though.
Yeah, so even if he is in second place in overall, despite being silver, the car behind him, right on his bumper, is also for position, so he just can't take it easy.
Nope. Not one bit. Sullivan on the outside of Curtis Lee there. It's going to be a tough move to get done here as it jinks to the right and then back over to the left. He does get this position done and manages to keep it on track. That was on the limit.
I think he backed out a little bit, seeing what was coming, you know. Maybe just came off, lifted a bit more.
That's true. Making moves around here is a two-way street. It takes respect on both parts to leave the space if someone's entitled to it. Some respectful driver there. It's respectful driving coming from Curtis Lee there. Sullivan now back up to P9. On a bit of a recovery drive after picking up some damage, and showing it's not stopping him. Top 10 position after this almost endurance. It's only an hour, but it feels like it's probably longer from behind the wheel.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Nürburgring is a lot more draining than any other tracks. Just doing an hour is akin to doing 2 hours on every other track.
Yeah, exactly right. There's a bit of a break on the backstretch, but not for these drivers, as that's the main passing opportunity. So even down the backstretch where you can maybe look away from out of your windshield, you're looking at your mirror to try to figure out who's trying to make a move on you.
And Justin McKechnie has opened the gap, or Maxwell's already on the bumper for Andrew. So he's probably still going to be pressuring Andrew for position as he just looks up the inside.
That was an aggressive little move. This is one of the passing opportunities around here, but you have to rely on the driver in front of you make a mistake. And Andrew, as we've seen, was putting up quite the defense to Justin earlier. I bet Justin can draw that back of the yellow McLaren from memory by the end of tonight. It's pretty much all he's seen these 60, or after he got to the back of him, the past 20 minutes or so. His recovery drive is sort of stalled out behind him. Finds a bit of space there. No. Yeah, there he is. Andrew. Taking a bit of notes from the earlier battle, we'll just give that position. That's respectful driving from Andrew. It's just, who knows, Justin maybe has a bit more pace than him around here tonight and gives the position fairly easily. I'm not going to slow down. Because if a driver's behind like that, and especially a track around Nürburgring, they're going to be a bit desperate to get that move done, especially if they've already done it once before. Not saying Justin's not capable of a clean move, because he certainly is, as you've seen tonight. But desperate times call for desperate measures.
I think as well, it's not fun having somebody right up behind you all the time.
Yeah, you're watching the relative more than you are your windscreen.
Yeah.
Look at this lineup here. All through the carousel. There's nothing in between these drivers. My word.
Reminder that both Moffitt and Sullivan have damage.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit of damage, but it's just going to slow them down, and that's just going to help Justin McKechnie just catch up right to the bumper of Curtis Lee.
Curtis Lee is struggling to find an opening. Justin's already pretty well within a second behind Curtis there. But now we're seeing a bit of a train flow.
Actually, I feel like Andrew has fallen back ever so slightly.
Justin's
He is flashing.
Flashing. Bit of bad mannered, but honestly, I understand it.
You're gonna have to earn that place, I think.
Here's what his onboard looks like. Yeah, it's just chaos.
This is a battle for position as well, so it's for class position.
We're not gonna give it up too easily.
I think an interesting thing to note as well, Velasquez is catching Schwartz and Colton ever so slightly over the course of the lap. He's gained about a second and a half already.
This Ferrari's just so planted there.
Even on the jump.
Even with the dirty air.
Oh, it's a bit out of sorts there. It's easy to do, but just with a bit of lift. It was a bit of position, a bit of time, but crucially still pointing forward. I love that section of track, but you have to be on the limit. And then behind someone, it's not easy to do. See, Justin just makes all his time back up under braking, though. That Ferrari's super strong, especially compared to the Bentley in front of him. Down the straightaway, though, I think this is where his advantage will falter, as the Mustangs and Bentley will just sort of form a train, looking like Daytona out here with a bunch of their drafting.
This is bomb drafting, I think.
Bomb drafting,
Sullivan
sure.
at the last minute pulls out from Moffitt in front of him.
Moffitt's
They're
gonna
gonna
lose
take
2
you away
positions from the slipstream.
He's not careful. Yeah, Curtis Lee's not as close as I would imagine, but we saw him redlining in the draft earlier, so doesn't quite have that overspeed in the setup tonight. Sullivan will get that move down the back stretch. So it's a clinical move, textbook move as he does there. Now the burden falls on Moffitt to keep him behind.
Now they enter the penultimate lap.
11 minutes to go, yeah, 2 to go. Picking back up front, Oriole is still a commanding lead by 6 seconds nearabouts. Shorts still P3, about 3 seconds behind Colton, and you're right, Velasquez just about making his way back up to Shorts, so still all the play for up at the top. Curtis diving on the inside, doesn't quite have the overlap, and will just fall back in line.
I think it's difficult if you're in that Ferrari, you know. Are you trying to make the move, or are you trying to see if these boys are going to make the move for you, you know?
Right. Waiting for them to make the mistake. Curtis Lee goes extra deep on the brakes, keeps it out of the back of the Mustang, but there is pretty much nothing in it. On the exit, Justin will get a bit of a run. Schumacher Estes, though, Moffitt. Still a cork in the bottle for these two as Curtis Lee closes that gap
It looks like Curtis Lee is starting to get a bit more impatient now, and he's just being super aggressive with his moves, which are not working out for him because he's still behind Moffitt.
They both will go wide. Justin has a preferred line. I mean, he's able to close the gap, just not able to get the move done.
Yeah, I at this point I don't know if I want to be patient or try to push for more moves.
Yeah, I mean, this is essentially a P8 position on the table if he can get past these drivers. And look at, two more chances to do it. One more down the GP circuit, better passing opportunities. So it's not going to be easy for him.
At the same time as well, the Andrew and Maxwell, they're starting to catch up and join this train as well, so pressure's going to start coming from both ways. Oh, who's that? Sullivan?
Gets a bit wide again. Adds a bit to the damage. Surely that can't help his chances, as both the Mustangs are all over the place.
Oh.
Justin, I swear, he is as bad as close as it gets behind that.
At this point, I think he's trying to put pressure on Curtis and Moffitt.
Oh no, he's gone. Yeah.
Justin not really on the inside, but does peek his nose. We'll give him a compromised entry to Curtis Lee, and just goes a bit wide. That's a one-lane corner every day of the week, and not having the ideal line will put you off like that. Curtis Lee will lose 3-4 positions.
Oh, he's coming back for it, though, is he?
Yeah, he dove on that on Max on the board show. Leaving the window open a little bit. Courtesy will find that space.
Oh,
Recovery drive starts down.
Marco just giving him the flash of annoyance.
That's right. Sure, he wasn't too pleased with that maneuver. That was fair. No contact as far as I saw, so I'd say that was a good move.
Oh, looks
And
like we've got
crucially,
138. Sorry, go on.
Crucially, Justin McKechnie is in. Oh, this is Andrew's teammate who's just had.
Yeah, he just had a little
most of
spin or something.
Yeah, didn't quite catch that, but looks like he's back going the right direction.
That's what I was saying. McKechnie's in P10.
There it is.
He's in top 10. Yeah.
Yep.
And he started in the last row as well. So
And a great drive.
that's a great drive from him.
Very clearly our biggest mover of the night. He's up 19 positions.
Oh.
I don't know how he did it around here, but he found the opportunities to make it work.
Looks like it might be 20 by the end of this lap.
He's all over the back of Moffitt.
Let him know he's there.
Yeah. And that's all it takes sometimes, as we saw with Curtis, just, you know, being present in their rear view mirrors. Showing that you're not willing to be patient, you know, drives the person in front to a mistake.
We need to get Justin in the boot for the interview after this race.
Yeah, he should put on a show. He deserves the limelight. Curious to see how he thought this race went. Maybe a case of what could have been, because he was ahead of Andrew before he pit, you know, a bit later stop, and I think that's what sort of put him back behind these drivers once again. He maybe could have been on for a P8, which he might end up eventually if he can make it past these drivers, but Kamal up there is a bit too far gone probably for Justin to get up to him.
But imagine if he did not get a quality ban. Imagine if he did set a quality lap like everyone else.
I think he's thinking the same thing right now too. Oh my goodness gracious.
Ooh.
That was a dive and a half.
Yeah, I imagine Justin having that scene from the airplanes, like picked the wrong week to get quality ban.
That's right. He's got such a tighter line than the Mustang in front of him around the carousel. Just riding the curbs and the bumps. Doesn't really affect
I feel like in the
296.
296 you can really get into it. You know, I did find a lot of time in carousels compared to the other cars, and clearly Justin found something here.
He's making it work. You can tell Moffat is having a little bit defensive through all these corners. Not quite using all of the track on exit, just to make sure he keeps the car pointed forward and doesn't make too many mistakes in the gap for Justin behind.
The liberal line through that corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going all defensive that Solomon's just disappeared from his sight.
It's almost a 2-second gap now. Oh, that's why. Off into the sand. Justin's, I think, even got his hazards on. Just doing anything he can do to try to put Moffat off his way.
Oh, he had those rain lights on the whole race.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that curb definitely affected him there. Took every bit of that. That would have ruined the floor in a real car. Luckily, don't have to worry about that too much here. Oh, that's it.
Oh,
that's the opening he's looking for.
No, he's dead.
That is an opening.
Opening
Oh my
at
God.
half.
Oh
Justin Moffat
no.
just gets loose.
Oh,
And
Justin,
he
my heart
teleports.
bleeds.
Oh, that is tough. Actually, that's Curtis Lee going on move for Andrew. So both of these drivers sort of had to react to the flying Mustang in front of them.
Yeah.
Curtis Lee will get past Andrew now. So the recovery drive still on from him. Now it's a bit of open space. Justin looking to recover.
Oh no,
that was Andrew through a mini carousel.
no.
Didn't quite get it slowed down. Maxwell's also going off. Bit of an oil slick there in the mini carousel or something.
Yeah,
all
right.
drivers are having
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
Gotta look for Muttley, I think, putting oil out there somewhere.
something happening for sure. Oh.
Oh,
Catching,
Guzman too.
Austin Powers
Guzman
maneuver
as
from the
well.
Mustang. curious what happened here. Oh yeah, it just gets loose to the
It's
first
lost
sector of the
it.
Nordschleife. That's seems to be the move of the night. We've seen a few drivers do that, unfortunately.
That is the teammate as well, so both Mustangs have an incident. The 2 separate parts on the same lap.
That's not what you
Alright,
want.
man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
Happened in the
Final lap
last
of the
30
race.
seconds.
So after that
Oh.
chaotic sequence of events there, looks like Goriel's still our
Oh,
leader.
138.
I'm seeing all kinds of stuff pop up. It's 77
Yeah.
as well. That's Russell Allen. Let's see what happened here. Oh my goodness, he's just
Oh.
loose. Yep, that'll happen.
I
Oh,
mean,
that's-
is the track temps changed or something? Like, what? It's all of a sudden.
Everyone's having issues navigating around this tricky corner. Or at least
I
this
think
tricky track in
The leader is on the final lap now.
I think someone did leak oil.
You had to.
Let's see. I think I'd like to put the blame on Sullivan. He hit the bumper. He probably damaged an intercooler or something.
I mean, let's be honest. Parts of Sullivan's car are all over the track at all different ports at this point in the race. But
Yeah. But yeah, now in the final lap, the home stretch. Well, not
Goriel's-
necessarily the home stretch, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's still a long lap ahead of him, but Goriel's looking very dominant here. We saw him in the practice server was able to, just pretty much outpace everyone, blitz the field with multiple second advantage in the practice server, and was able to make that translate over to the race, right along with him now through this first sector of the Nordschleife. Even still on worn tires, he's looking pretty smooth. Still hitting the curbs with confidence. Doesn't really affect the attitude of the car at all.
I'm surprised. You know, you got a 9-second lead on the final lap. Nordschleife. I'd be taking this so careful. And it's good to see he's going for it.
Yeah, especially that his championship rival is all the way in P15. He needs to win this race. He needs to maximize the amount of points that he can gain in order to keep the championship battle alive.
Certainly.
But it's been interesting since that pit. You know, I don't know what the difference is. Maybe Colton didn't adjust the pressures maybe on his tires. I don't know, but Goriel's just taken away with it.
Gregorio has been on the bumper of Colton for the whole of the first stint, so I think he did have the decisive pace advantage, but he just couldn't get past the Lexus because you're not getting past the Lexus.
Yeah, which is fair play. He saw his one opportunity was a bit of strategy in the pits. You know, a tenth of a second in the pit lane could be worth, a second or so on track, and I think that was all that was really in it. It was a couple of tenths in pit lane.
Yeah.
Puts them both out of the pits at the same time, and none of them wanting to wait for coming out the exit, which, as we saw, they were inside of each other. I've seen that before too, where some drivers literally go like a lap inside of each other.
Oh my goodness.
It's always fun to see, but not quite the high realism. Goriel does well to get out
He's
of
still
that.
extending that lead. He's
Yeah.
still extending.
Got 10 seconds now, so even if they were to give the harshest of penalties,
Oh,
on that,
is that an incident?
That's Marvin.
Oh no! This is
I feel you, Marvin. That was me yesterday. I feel you.
It's a tough sector of the quarter of the track just because you're coming down that back stretch, hauling all kinds of speed. You just have to slow it down in time. Easy to get on the curbs and make a mistake there.
Yeah, I've also rolled the car in that corner.
My goodness, where have you not rolled the car there, Arjun? Jeez.
295.
Yaren. Oh, he'll teleport. Let's see if we can't catch it. Yeah, I mean, this close to the finish, you'd hope you can just finish it out, but...
Oh, he's not braked in time.
Oh, no, it just gets on the grass. I mean, honestly, doesn't pick up too much damage, but decides enough is enough.
Looks like more emotional.
Yeah, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Does he teleport back to pits and calls it a night? But he will get majority of points for completing half the race, so cuts his losses there. I mean, maybe made the educated decision there that 2 rookie position wasn't going to hurt him too bad. That was Russell Allen, and these Porsches were going at it.
That's damage as well.
So it looks both front and rear.
Yeah. Oh, he's struggling.
He already had the damage.
Yeah.
Struck out here, but yeah, that's tough from Russell Allen, who's just trying to finish the race.
Yeah. Bringing it home.
Also,
no, he cut back into Russell on the
no.
replay, and he's gotten loose again.
Oh.
That damage is clearly affecting him, and yeah, that'll. Nope.
He's still good on him. Good on him.
He's not calling it quits yet. Just kind of
Gotta be
parked it up on
careful.
the apex curb.
Yeah.
oh,
I think that was Byron just getting around him there.
I love that reverse straight back into the barrier.
What's more
damage?
A little bit of rear damage doesn't hurt.
Oh, 77's got it. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay.
Getting it back going.
also, just like how we have Silver and Silver Driver in second place, there's also a Silver Driver in second place in D2 as well. So, yeah.
What happened with
I guess.
Oh no,
Ooh.
Rodriguez, no.
I wasn't able to click on him before he left. That's unfortunate.
Unlucky.
He was running up towards the front, and I think he just, for some reason, were on
He was
track.
seventh.
Not sure what happened there, but unfortunate for him as he would tell Red Pits. Saw him pop up to the leaderboard, and yeah, it's not sure what happened there, but so yeah, as you were saying, shout out to Colton. He's a Silver Division, P2 overall, and
Also Schwartz as well, who's in P3. So,
Alan's giving it
job.
quits.
As he finally called it, yeah, he just
He's
back
good.
the pit. It's just too much damage. Understandable, honestly, because that can't be fun.
yeah, there's a lot of gainers from this race who just gained this race, who gained so many positions just by virtue of not just having any major incidents. Like Austin Red, he's in P5, he started P10.
Yeah.
Justin McKechnie, who started on the last row, now in P8, putting the pressure on Jack Sullivan for P7.
So he's already up 20 positions, looking to make it 21.
Oh goodness, what a race.
He's just been embridled in a battle pretty much this entire race. As he goes through the flashes, kind of hinders his tracking of the steering wheel, and that'll send him a bit wide. That was about as close as that gets.
Not over yet. It might be over, but
Yeah, the gap's open back up, so he's been able to close the gap, pretty easily if he wanted to, but I just want to catch back up here and congratulate Guriel. Actually, a bit of a wall tap. The only damage we saw the entire night of him is he had a pretty clean race, all things considered. We'll finish P1 as your winner of the Nordschleife race as he does some celebratory weaves. Congrats to him, Simon Guriel, putting on a clinic tonight. Colton, our silver winner, and honestly, showing these gold drivers how to do it, because he will finish P2, just 14 seconds behind. Shorts was catching up to Colton as well. Velasquez right behind him. They'll finish P4. McKechnie's down now the back stretch. He is right up the back bumper.
Here we go. He's going to take it.
I think he has the gap to make a move here, though.
Is he going to go for 5? Is he going to send it?
If you're gonna do it now.
Now's the time. Nah, he's too far back, surely.
Yeah, he's using every bit of the track to try to find a way around him, but it's just not there. Sullivan will come across the line. P7. That was well done. I was just watching this Maxwell Sutherland battle.
Sutherland got past Maxwell.
Yeah, so that was well done on the back stretch. That means that we get overspeed. That'll send Maxwell into P12, Sutherland into P11. Oh no, Sutherland into P10. I think someone actually left. Yeah.
It might have been Rodriguez catching up maybe, because obviously he went straight back to the pit, didn't he? So does that mean Justin made up 22 spots then?
Let's
no, it's Velasquez. Velasquez left after he finished, so no.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
so it is still a net 20 positions, but
which is still impressive.
Yeah. Cool. It's not an easy race and an easy place to pass, and he was able to get it done. 20 positions around this place, so the job well done, I'd say. Funk coming across the line. P11, I think ultimately is maybe P12 or I forget where they ended up at before people left. But
15?
honestly, still a decent haul of points. He calls it quits, drives it into the barrier. That's a good way to end it.
Yeah, he's saying what he's thought of this race, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But honestly, to end up, at least top 15 after all of that, I'd say is still a pretty decent haul of points. He had a pretty decent lead going into it. So well done for him for at least finishing the race after his odds were stacked against him.
Absolutely.
Just our final finishers. These are some of our drivers that had a bit more difficult race, so we see a bit larger gaps. We saw, we were sort of spoiled with the battles of Justin coming through the field and, that Curtis Lee, Moffitt sort of battles, and obviously up front, at one point had all three drivers within a second for the top three. Kind of missed on some of these drivers and what the sort of pitfalls they've had during the race, but a testament of their stick-to-itness and able to finish the race regardless. I mean, all sorts of damage. As you can see, there's barely any vinyl paint left on the front end of that Mustang. Still looks good, though, of a Tron livery, and he does well to come home, finish off this race.
Yeah, I think it speaks volumes. I think of a lot of these drivers that the race hasn't necessarily gone their way. It might not be the strongest track, which is understandable. But hey, look, they finished. They survived. You've survived the Nordschleife.
Put that on your resume for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. And yeah.
See, I want to see if we can't grab some of our race winners.
Yeah, I see Goriel.
Yeah, we'll see if we can.
Actually, all the podium finishes are in the chat, so
they got
just
the
pull them over.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll grab Simon Goriel first, who put on a clinic out here tonight. Simon, do you got us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Yeah, congrats on your win around Nordschleife. That was extremely well done. Saw you had a bit of traffic in the first part of that stint behind Colton, but able to get around them through the pit stops. I want to get your opinion though on that pit exit. It seems like you had to take some avoiding action. How did you see it from your point of view?
I mean, I saw him coming out. We were pretty much like right neck and neck to each other. So I was right on the side of him. I just pulled out and I said, whoever gets in front wins. So yeah, it was tough. I kind of felt bad because I went around the the pit line. And yeah, but
yeah, unfortunately we did catch it on the stream, so there's no hiding it. The stewards will probably be looking for it, but regardless, I don't think it'll be too big of a penalty if one does come your way. And with a 14-second gap by the finish, I think you still pretty well shoe in for the win. Which I mean, you put in a lot of time for practicing. You were blitzing the field in the practice servers. How does it feel to have that translate over into the race?
Oh, it feels good. I mean, I knew I was going to have a tough battle with Colton. We raced on Monday and we were neck to neck, and he ended up winning that race. So I knew I was coming into this. I had to figure out a strategy to get around that Lexus and how fast it is on the straights. And I figured if I can get some kind of gap in front of him, I'll be able to overcome him taking me over on the straight. So but yeah, it was a good battle. I mean, unfortunately, he took a little crash there in the second lap, I think, and that took away some of his straight line speed. But still, nonetheless, I was expecting him to catch up sooner or later.
Yeah, it worked out for you. And I don't know if you saw, but David Funk, who's your rival there for the Drivers' Championship, had a bit of a struggle here tonight. And so with the win on your book and a sort of finish down the grid for David, how do you like your chances going to these final two rounds?
Yeah, it's gonna be a close one. I saw that. I was kind of bummed out. He qualified pretty high up there and then had that little spin out. But I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a close one. I'm by no means gonna be any good in next week's race in wet Coda. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, BMW is pretty good around there in the dry, but in the wet, it's a lot to keep within track limits. So it'll be exciting to watch, and I can't wait to watch you do it next week. Got anyone you want to shout out before we head out?
No, not really, man. Thanks for commentating. Sorry, I didn't join the last couple of weeks. I kind of ghosted you guys. So yeah, apologies there.
Made up for it here with put on a show here tonight at the Nürburgring and obviously hopping in.
Not even your teammate who's in chat.
What's that?
Not even your teammate who's in the stream chat.
Logain.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a given for sure. Shout out to my
Okay.
teammate. Yeah.
There we go. Good on you, mate. We'll let you back to it. Congrats again. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, and then we'll grab Colton, the Lexus enjoyer tonight here. Hey Donovan, this is Landon, Arjun, and Jay in the booth. You got us?
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats. P2 overall, which is a huge result, but critically the silver win. It's got to feel pretty good. That Lexus looked pretty hooked up around here, right?
Yeah, I mean, on the second lap, I picked up a bit of damage towards the end, and which was definitely hindered things a little bit in the braking, especially. But yeah, overall, it was pretty strong.
Did you not come in and get it fixed? I was wondering if that was maybe one of the things that slowed your pit stop down a little bit.
I didn't want to because I knew I was going to, if I did, I would lose to Schwartz there. So yeah, with the pit stop, yeah, I was kind of ashamed to lose, the lead there, but I was just too safe to go, coming in. I was too afraid of a drive-through or something.
Which is valid because we were seeing it happen all night. A couple people picked up a drive or stop go 30 for their pit entry, so it's tough around here. I was curious on your pit exit though. You guys are literally inside of each other going through the stripe. What happened there?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought right when I pulled out, I thought I was still ahead, but then I noticed he was like side by side, and then so I like tried to cut a little bit to the right because I was like, oh, I don't want to,
Yeah, clearly none of you were lifting though. Coming out of the exit there.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was a good time though. I don't know if I could ask, it was a little bit of a bummer to lose the lead there, but I don't know if I could ask for much more in this situation, especially because I've been like super sick the last couple days and like with the fever up to 104, so I'm pretty dead, but yeah, it was a good time though.
It's an endurance regardless of any conditions. And how much practice did you put into it tonight?
Quite a bit. I mean, I love this track, so I don't know how many laps I put in. Probably close to 70 or 80.
That's
but
absurd. But it paid off, obviously, with the P2 overall. Short 2 is your sort of rival in the championship. Finishes P3, so you gained a little bit on him, not too much, but it would probably be within 10 points or so going into the final 2 rounds. I would still say it's all to play for. How do you feel your chances?
Oh yeah, I mean it's kind of funny because I came into D3 not even coming close to expecting any sort of a silver battle here, but so I mean I Coda coming up next, not my favorite track, but it's and it being wet, we'll see, but yeah, I don't know. I'm excited though.
Yeah, for sure. It's a bit of apprehension going into it, but I think being good around the Nürburgring sort of translates over to the Coda sort of technical aspects. And down the straightaway, Lexus got to be pretty quick. So it'll be exciting to watch and see what you can do next week. Once again, congrats on a P2 solid result here tonight. Anyone you want to shout out before you get out of here?
Shout out to my grandma. She's probably watching. So
hey, shout out grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma Colton, let's go.
Yeah.
Tuning in. No, that's awesome.
Yep. Yep.
Cool,
Thanks,
man.
guys.
I'll let you get back to it. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, guys.
So I do see Justin is streaming the review, but I have to talk to him. We're gonna
bring Michael
him in
Schwartz as well. It's Michael Schwartz as well. He had the P3 finisher.
Oh, that's a good point. He was in that battle as well, so we'll bring him in. That way we won't affect the hard sort of debates going on in the review. Hey, Michael.
Later.
This is Landon, Jay, and Arjun in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I think so. Hi, how are you?
Hi, man. Good. Congrats on a P3 overall finish around here. A long 8 laps, but it's got to feel pretty good. How was that race for you?
It was sweaty. It actually goes by quick. It's just it goes by quick, but man, is it stressful. Just white knuckled.
Yeah, for sure. And you were actually catching up to Colton there at the end. Did you think you had anything for him in that second stint?
No, I was getting sloppy. The car was really starting to feel loose, and I was just making mistakes. I was more worried about the guy behind me than catching Colton.
Yeah, well, that's because we want to tear, huh?
Yeah, like, uh-oh, hold it together.
Right, just a bit of a drive to survive at the end there. But I mean, you did well. Podium position, that's got to feel pretty good. And I mean, you're leading the silver championship, so that's gotta feel pretty good that you're able to defend that a bit. Colton obviously finishing a bit ahead of you, so we'll close that gap, but not too much. P3, P2 doesn't have too much difference in points. Gotta understand, how do you feel about Coda and Watkins Glen then? Because last 2 races, still a championship to defend.
So not a fan of Coda. I really like driving it, but I'm not fast. So in the rain, I have no idea. That's going to be just a wild card for me. Watkins Glen, I'm comfortable. I don't think I'll be podium again, but I'll be watching Colton's times.
Yeah.
and I'll put in the practice needed, that's for sure.
Target set.
I think there's a theme developing with Kota at the moment, so you're not the only one who said that so far. So
not a lot of fans. It'll be everyone will be begrudgingly putting in their practice laps and competing in the race next week. That's wild. I like the track, but I understand the apprehension. The track limits are going to be tough, especially in the wet. Looking forward to watching you guys put on a show, as you guys usually do in D3. Though it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, thank you. It's been awesome.
Yeah. You got any shout outs? Anyone you want to give a thanks to before you head out?
No, thanks for not getting smashed in the start. That's all. I mean, it's just
huge.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone it was a good, clean race. So shout out to everybody.
That's all you can ask for around here. Fair enough, man. Well, congrats again on P3. We'll see you out here next week at Coda, whether you like it or not. Got a championship to defend.
Awesome. See you soon. Thanks.
Later. Good times. So yeah, those are our top 3, our podium finishers, gold and silver divisions, putting on a show here. D3 always, even in a track that's not easy to race at, still showing that it's able to get done just obviously. I think that's our driver of the day, going up 20 positions. Would you guys agree? Who is your driver of the day?
Justin for sure. Let's actually just yoink him over.
I love that you said that. Thank you. I have someone backing me up. Justin, real quick, this is Landon, Arjun, and Jay in the booth. Just wanted to get your opinions on your race before you head back to your review. How was that for you?
It was great. I had a good time. Yeah. I'm surprised. I had a really good time.
You were battling the entire race.
Oh, I know. It was quite fun. I had a great run. I mean, was it 29th to 8th?
Yeah,
I think
20 positions is what my counter said. Curious though, what happened in the pit stop, because you were ahead of Andrew going into it, and then you came out behind Andrew, and then like 4 other cars. That had to have been tough.
I kind of missed the box. I'm not gonna lie. Yes.
That'll do it.
that would do it, but I guess it worked out. Yeah. I almost got Sullivan too.
Oh my gosh, you were right in the back from going on the back stretch. The Mustang overspeed just is able to keep him ahead, but I thought you were gonna send it. We were all rooting for you. Send it.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to do that in the last turn.
Long race. You don't want to bottle it all there at the end, but I would gotta say that you put on a show for us. It was very entertaining to watch you battle it out and duke it out.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thanks for dragging me in.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, what's with the drifting? All those drifting behind.
Drifting, it's like controller driving, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Ain't no way, really?
Yeah, I drive on a controller.
Hey, dude, it worked. I mean, Selena also got P2 in D2, so I guess controllers have the advantage in going into Nordschleife, I assume.
Jay, any
I could only dream of being as fast. Yeah, fellow controller driver. You've taken away all my excuses now. I've got no excuses.
No excuses. I have too many laps on this track in AC, so.
It does translate. There's a bit of difference, but obviously it paid off. You're able to make moves when pretty much no one else was able to. Survival of the fittest out there, and you was able to just pass people, making moves out around the outside, diving down. Ferrari looked like it was pretty hooked up tonight. Congrats again, man. It's got to be.
Thank you.
I'll let you get back to it. Take care, man.
Yes.
Good man. Good race.
I was Justin putting on a show for us tonight.
Controller.
I
Oh my
never
God.
would have thought that. Looking at him, I mean, he was
Nice.
controlling those oversteers like a true professional with a full 900 degrees of rotation.
I mean, his team name did say in his car, which we had most of the time, did say the gamepad user doesn't die, or something like that.
It checks out. He did
Checks
well.
out.
Oh, well, that was a good time. Good race at Nürburgring. Props to these drivers just for finishing. I gotta say, it's been a pleasure to watch. Before we head out of here, should probably shout out our sponsors. Which one did you guys have that pulled up?
I can do that.
Oh, perfect.
All right. Okay, here's the script. We spent. Wait, no, that's the wrong script. a huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documize, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documize.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favorite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racers. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racers' high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use SRATE, SRA being capitalized, at checkout to support us. And Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that enhances your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop, run by our KW Arrington. Upgrade your sim racing experience with premium 3D accessories, 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cables, management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style. Elevate your lab with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. And Go Setups. Premium setups, premium esports setups for everyone. Use our affiliate link or Discord and take your drive to the next level. Their Lexus setups up north are pretty good. And from Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialized in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, and Fairyville collectibles, magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decors, costumery, cosplays, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron.
Yeah, thanks for that.
There we go.
And thanks for everyone for tuning in, for watching the stream. Appreciate that. And shout out to Colton's grandma. Love that. Everyone, it's a whole family affair tuning in tonight. Remember, we got Coda coming up next week, so be sure to tune back in the same time next week, and we'll see you all there. For now, take care.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Rise like the sun and fall in the ocean. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win, 'cause we're only human. The ghost of our past is chasing